What's going on, Fud Nation, and welcome back. Today we're back with a very, interesting, kind of a different episode than I've ever done before, and that's because there's a bit of drama going down. I don't know if you guys watched my last video with Tone Vays, but it was actually a really cool chat we had. I brought him on because if you don't know about Tone Vays, or you didn't watch that interview, he has some pretty out there viewpoints, what I'd consider kind of on the fringe, provocative, controversial viewpoints, and he's, a pretty well-known guy in the space. He's got 180K followers on Twitter, got a bunch of followers on YouTube, almost 100K. So I'm thinking this guy's, much bigger than my channel even, and people know who he is and know his message. But regardless, I heard him spouting off that, essentially Ethereum's going to zero and all these other coins are going to zero. And so I thought I'd bring him on and just have, an interesting conversation and essentially just present what I think of as kind of like a contrarian viewpoint. Obviously, given how big Tone Vays is, I feel like he understands the way his message is received by the greater community, and he understands sort of what kind of camp he's in. But regardless, what happened after the interview was he got absolutely ripped to shreds in the comment section below the video. The comments are bad. I'm not going to even go through them myself. You can go through them yourself. I'll put up a couple right here on the screen so you can read them. Yeah, it's pretty rough out here for Tone Vays. So I thought, he got pretty much shredded. What can I say? He got the community feedback directly to him. And then I started getting these crazy comments, crazy weird personal attacks on me, coming at Fud Nation, talking about the channel and the subscribers. I started deleting them at first because I was like, you know what, I don't have time for the negativity, whatever. Then I got this comment saying, actually, Tone was throwing shade on FunTV in his latest video called BTC Head Fake. Not cool. He was crying about all the negative comments after he appeared. I appreciate his point of view, but simply disagree that all other coins are shitcoins. And I thought this was crazy because during our interview, I was so nice to Tone. Even though I don't necessarily agree with much of what he said, or I guess really any of what he said, I brought him on and I tried to pay, due respect to him. Look at how I treated him during the interview. The point is, it's a great chat that we're about to have, and there are some very important words of wisdom that we want to impress upon the audience. Hello and welcome to FunTV, the one and only Tone Vays. Thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it, for taking the time. Welcome to the show, and please, if you could, give the audience, if they don't already know, a little bit of background about you, how you got into the space, what you were doing before you were in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and what you're up to right now. I hope you guys saw there, I was trying to present him in the most positive light. He talks about his background for quite a while. The goal of the episode was to bring him on and highlight his perspective. Well, I thank you again for that. Some extremely, extremely wise words, fiery and wise at the same time. I thank you so much. I literally say extremely wise, fiery and wise. Look at the big smile on Tone's face as I say this. I was giving him the best possible way to introduce his point, bigging him up throughout the whole interview. And then I go and I check out his channel to see what he said about me. Let's look at that now.
Or 2 days ago, I did an interview with FunTV, okay? I had no idea what FunTV was until I did the interview. So here's the interview. I don't know if you saw it, Van Zen. So I did an interview with FunTV. I had absolutely no idea what it was because I don't really have time to watch other people's YouTube channels or anything like that.
Weird flex, but okay, whatever, go on.
So here's the one that I retweeted, right? But again, I wasn't familiar with FunTV until I did the interview, so I didn't know what that channel was about. But when I click on the FunTV Twitter handle, what I see is this. So it says right here, watch our founder Elliot Wainman chat with Tone Vays about Ethereum going to zero. And I saw this tweet and I'm like, and I see the Tron logo, which I know is a shitcoin and a scam coin. And it says, watch our founder Elliot do the interview. So I'm like, wait a minute. So I got interviewed by a founder of Tron chat.
Okay, so this was what kind of got me a little upset because I didn't interview him as a founder of Tron Chat. I interviewed him as the host of FunTV. I have multiple things going. I have multiple projects. Yes, I posted it to our Tron Chat socials as anyone who's running a project that their founder does kind of a noteworthy interview would do. But I didn't ask him to share that. I asked him to share the one from FunTV. I didn't ask him to promote Tron Chat. So then he comes and he actively calls Tron a shitcoin and a scam coin, which that's partly what started to get me really annoyed, right? Because he makes it seem like I kind of tricked him into doing this interview under false pretenses. And if he knew I was working on a DApp, he would never have done the interview. And then he goes and he calls Tron a shitcoin and a scam coin, really offering no evidence as to why he thinks that. But what bothers me about this is that Tone admits that he doesn't actually know anything about Tron.
What the hell is
Oh my
Tron
God.
Chat?
Yeah.
And Tron Chat is some kind of a platform, some kind of a messaging app on top of the Tron, blockchain, or if Tron is even a blockchain. I have no idea if it is or not, because I don't know if it's POS or not. I haven't had time to look into it. I just know that Tron is an insecure database that you shouldn't build anything on.
I think he says it best.
I have no idea if it is or not.
So Tone admits that he hasn't looked into Tron. He doesn't know if it's even a blockchain, doesn't know if it's proof of stake. He doesn't know anything about it, but he knows it's a shit coin and a scam coin.
Nice.
So here's where I'm starting to try to put together some dots for the audience, as well as maybe even Tone if you're watching this. Look, the reason why people were shredding Tone in the comment section is because he makes these bold claims that all other coins besides Bitcoin are going to zero. And the evidence he uses to support those claims is that other altcoins have died in the past and it's no longer viable. My problem is that you're trashing a DApp, you're trashing a platform you haven't looked into, you're admitting you haven't looked into them, and then you're sweepingly saying all of it is trash, it all needs to go to zero, everyone just needs to lose their money. And then what really bothers me even more than this is that he compares all of these things to Paycoin, Aurora Coin, and BitConnect.
So this tells me that the bear market is not even close to ending. Close. This scares the shit out of me that no one has learned their lesson of believing in Paycoin and Aurora Coin and BitConnect and God knows what else.
He literally compares Tron Chat and Tron to BitConnect and Aurora Coin. So Aurora Coin and Paycoin, the two coins he talked about, were essentially Litecoin alternatives or Dogecoin alternatives that were around, but they're really just alternatives to Bitcoin. There's a whole new world here of decentralized infrastructure inspired by Ethereum and DApp platforms, and then DApps built on top of those platforms. And while they're obviously cryptocurrencies, as in they're blockchain assets that you can transfer, on the internet via a blockchain, they really don't actually have that much to do with Bitcoin. They're not trying to solve the same problems. They're in two different universes. So to compare them like that, just to me shows a huge lack of understanding of the altcoin space, and specifically the Web 3.0 DApp space that's emerging. It's a new space, but it seems like Tone doesn't understand the difference between a DApp and a Bitcoin alternative, just some random other coin. And that's to me what's really concerning, is that he's shading the whole altcoin space, but then clearly doesn't seem to understand it.
Scares the shit out of me that no one has learned their lesson of believing in Paycoin and Aurora Coin and BitConnect and God knows what else.
Honestly, more than anything, what pisses me off is that he tried to liken what we're doing, or essentially the reason why he's getting these comments, to the fact that people haven't learned their lessons from BitConnect. BitConnect was a scam, a Ponzi scheme, and Tone seems to want to just easily call things a shitcoin or a scam. It's one thing to call something a shitcoin, but to call it a scam is something else. Cryptocurrency is filled with scams. There are people who are ripping other people off, and then there are bad projects, then there are decent projects, and then there are great projects. But to call something a scam when they're actually just trying to make a good project, and you might think that they're mediocre in some ways, have more nuance. Because when you liken something to BitConnect, and it's literally a real project with real technology that they're trying to build a user base behind, you just essentially invalidate your opinion. You have likened apples and oranges again. Same with Paycoin, same with the Aurora Coin. These are horrible examples of coins that have failed. A scam, and then two diet Bitcoins that really didn't catch on. It just shows a complete misunderstanding of the crypto space, a complete lack of understanding of the actual work going on in the blockchain industry. And that really just damages Tone's credibility to a significant degree.
My fundamental analysis in the crypto space began and ended with Bitcoin. There was a time in my past, around 2014, where I thought altcoins were viable. I am no longer on that bandwagon. That went out the window probably by 2016, where to me, that's it. If you are going to invest in the crypto space, if you're going to put your money in the crypto space, and you're going to leave it there for about 5 years, the only asset I feel that has a chance to be better off 5 years from now is Bitcoin.
And I wasn't even going to do this, but considering I feel like he kind of attacked FUD Nation, said like essentially because people are attacking his viewpoint, because people aren't receiving his viewpoint well, that means that, wow, this bear market is just getting started, and wow, people must be so dumb. This scares me so much that people think I'm dumb. I was like, okay, that's not really a very mature way to handle all the criticism. I get it. You got shredded in the comments. I feel bad for you about that. I never wanted that to happen. I hope that was clear, both on how I presented you. I tried to put Tone in the best light possible, but in the end, you know, people didn't like what Tone had to say, and they made their feelings known in the comment section below, which is totally cool. I mean, that's what this whole point of having these debates, these conversations is about. But then, you know, to go hate on everything we're doing, to go hate on my project, to go hate on my audience, to go hate on everything that we did and pretend like, you know, you're justified in doing that just because people didn't like what you have to say. To me, that's like extremely immature, and it makes me want to go ahead and point out some things that I was feeling in the interview that I didn't quite put my finger on and really drill into. One of those things is that Tone teaches trading and he doesn't even trade. I'm not making this up. He said this. These are his words. Listen.
And by 2017, I didn't really have much time to trade anymore. The one big trade I made in the crypto space this year, the trade ended up losing me a bunch of money.
So you heard it yourself. He doesn't trade. The only trade he's put in, he's actually lost money on in the last year. He stopped investing in altcoins in 2016, right before the big altcoin bull run. He teaches trading and does conventions about TA and trading, but doesn't have time to put in a trade, even though he spends all day looking at the charts. It's all just a series of red flags to me. And that's why when I'm out here online looking for people to follow with regards to TA and trading, I look for people who verify and show what they're doing. That's why I love Crown, because this guy shows every single one of his trades. He'll be back on again this week. We can maybe break down some of the stuff that went on here. But again, just another red flag, someone who's not doing research, who for some reason has this big influence in the crypto community. And to me, it just feels like that's fine, do it. I wasn't even gonna make this video. I wasn't gonna call Tone out at all because he decided to throw shade at FunTV, FUD Nation. I just think this was warranted. I wanted to point out what I see as inconsistencies. And I hope, again, it seems like I'm being as fair as possible. In the end, I don't agree with what was said. I was fine with that. But then to make it seem like we're dumb and that's why we don't get it, or the audience doesn't get it and they're dumb, that to me is just taking it way too far. And I needed to then point out why I think this opinion is completely invalid. And I support FUD Nation. I support you guys in your comment section below. I don't agree with what he said. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. The reason why I put it on is because I thought it was controversial, provocative. I thought people would click on it and watch it. The video's got over 20K views. It's doing great. So, I mean, it was a successful piece of content. I'm sorry it hurt Tone's feelings. But again, like reacting so negatively when you were already being so negative, and that's why people were mad, I just think that's the wrong way to go about it. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think about this video, about our last video with Tone Vays. This is like my first reaction vid of any kind, so I hope you guys liked it. I'm not really that big of a fan of drama in general, but I always am gonna protect my beloved FUD Nation, and I'm always gonna protect my own reputation. So that's how I feel about it. I thought I was super fair to Tone, and I think like he essentially deserves the comments he got, and if this is how he reacts to those comments, then he deserves more comments. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think. I'm always curious. Throw me a like if you enjoyed this video. If you're not already subscribed to FunTV, hit that sub button. We got a lot of amazing content, some amazing guests coming up in the very near future. As usual, I'm Elio Trades. You're watching FunTV, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.